Good afternoon, family. Thanks for checking out today's video. If you're new here, my name is Jonathan, and I created this channel as a way to record my progress as I work towards my goal of losing 300 pounds in 3 years. If you'd like to join the family, hit that subscribe button down below. Also, click on the bell icon so you get alerted when I go live or post new videos. If you'd like to participate on the discussion, you can join me during my live streams that I do most weekdays, or outside the live stream, you can consider joining my Discord. That there is a link for that down in the description below. Also, if you're interested in getting some ideas of the meals that our family enjoys on our diet, we created a Pinterest board that has links to a lot of our family's favorite whole food, plant-based meals. If anybody has any non-scale victories they'd like to share, I'd love to hear your non-scale victories. If you have any on-scale victories, I'd love to hear those as well. I'd love to hear how you guys are doing on your diets. If you're struggling, what's causing you issues. If you're waiting to get on track, what's keeping you from getting on track. And when you do finally start your diet, what are the steps you're gonna take that make staying on your diet easier than the alternative? Today is day 625 of my 3-year challenge to lose 300 pounds. I've used a combination of extended water fasting and a whole food plant-based diet to lose over 215 pounds so far. I'm going to go ahead, switch over to the main screen here. I hope everybody had a great weekend. It was kind of a long weekend, or it feels like I was gone for so long since I didn't stream on Friday. Bunch of people checking in, saying hello. Rick saying howdy. Pretty Girl's mom, Aunt Day's kitchen, Anthony all saying hi. I hope you guys all had a great weekend and a wonderful day today. Very busy life right now. Just that time of year for me that I get real busy with some projects, and it's been nice to, have things to do. Pretty Girl's mom is noticing that I'm a little less furry today. Yes, I did shave the hairs off the side of my face a little bit. Had to trim it up, make myself look a little more professional and a little less homeless. So yes, clean that up a little bit. Next is the hair. Eventually I'll take that, or I'll go in to get my hair cut here. If I get a chance this week, I'll do it. If not, who knows? Maybe before Christmas. So, so busy. I'm trying to think. I had a meeting on Friday where we were doing stuff. The overall though, food has been great. I've been on point with the diet, sticking to all of the whole food, plant-based, salt, oil, sugar free. I do have some things to share, I suppose, since I was on here on Thursday. I've had quite a few meals, so let me go ahead and just run through them fairly quickly, I suppose. So Thursday, after I got back, we cooked up some more of the corn that we got from the roadside stand. The last couple ears of corn, I think that subconsciously, as we were grabbing ears of corn and putting them in the microwave, we were grabbing the larger ears of corn, because the last few pieces of it that we ended up cooking were like the runts of the litter, I guess you would say. And they was still good. It still tasted great, but there was a lot less volume to it, and a few of the, some of the ends weren't as developed as you would like, I guess. So, but we did get through all that corn I bought the other day. For dinner on Thursday night, we had our chickpea tikka masala. This is a dish that we ate a lot when we first started this diet. It was one of our staples. We've kind of gotten away from eating it so much. One of the reasons why we've gotten away from, Anthony says corn, yes. We got away from it is because of the the coconut milk, I guess it might be in it, or there's some sort of coconut extract in it that isn't the greatest for calorie density. So we have been eating less of this, but it still shows up every few weeks in our diet. So this is the chickpea tikka masala that we had on Thursday. Aunt Day's Kitchen says that somebody in Wisconsin was selling corn. You almost pulled over on the side of the road. It would have been worth it. That is for sure. The corn is pretty good right now. I was laughing at Carrie at how sweet and how flavorful it seemed, and I was just kind of wondering if we'd ever really gotten it this early. Usually we drive by the stand for a month or two before we finally break down and go grab some, but this time we kind of got on top of it early in the process. Then on Thursday night, we had a little bit of a dessert. I'm not exactly sure of all of the ingredients in this. Carrie told me that it was salt, oil, sugar free, lots of oats, lots of blueberries. This was like a blueberry bar. I think I got a better picture here. You can kind of see it's pretty much a thick layer of oats with some blueberries and some oats on top there. Really good. The kids, they didn't really eat it that much the night we made it, but then the next day they all seemed to like it. And it was just a nice dessert that Carrie put together because the kids had gone and done some blueberry picking at a farm near our house. So we went and grabbed, or Carrie made a recipe from those blueberries there. And then here's another shot of some corn there because this was on Friday. This is what I had for dinner on Friday afternoon. I might not have eaten breakfast Friday morning. I might have been getting out of the house so early that I didn't eat Friday morning for breakfast, but dinner Friday was corn. I took a photo of these ears of corn because I thought it was so crazy that they have all this green sticking out of the end of them. And it's probably been that way in the past. I just didn't notice it. And the only reason why it has become anything that I've thought about over the past year is because I never really thought of produce as having like a life after it's been picked. And there was a movie that we watched. I can't remember what the movie was, but they were talking about harvesting lettuce and how there was like a milkiness to the lettuce when you harvest it right off. Like if you were to eat it right off of the out of the ground, and you don't ever see that milkiness in that lettuce because by the time you see it in the store, it's already been, cut out of the ground for a couple weeks. And so that greenness on the corn here made me kind of think about that is probably on ears of corn, but most of the ears of corn have been picked so long ago that all the greenness has gone away from that. Our Tiny Acres says, hugs, beautiful people. Hugs back to you, Our Tiny Acres. Aunt Day's Kitchen says, if you replace your coconut milk with any good plant-based milk and for 1 cup add a teaspoon of coconut extract, you get the same flavor for less calories. I'll have to mention something to Carrie about that. Our Tiny Acre says that they wish their corn was that far along. Yeah, well, I'm sure they got lots of chemicals up here helping them, getting them going along, or getting them done faster up here. But that was Friday evening. We had some corn. We also had some strawberries. And for strawberries, it's been an interesting thing for me because I didn't eat a lot of strawberries before. Not that I didn't like strawberries. I think I explained it to Carrie the other day. I think it was just that strawberry flavoring is so much sweeter than actual strawberries are. Maybe that's why I never really had many just regular strawberries. But Carrie was able to pick up, I want to say it was a 2-pound container at Costco for like $2 or something. It was like $1 a pound or $2 a pound for strawberries that she got from Costco. So we had a big bowl of strawberries laying around the house this weekend. So on Friday, this was just one of the many handfuls of strawberries. I think I have some more photos of strawberries later on here that I ate on Friday. And they're really good. They're amazing in season right now. And if you like strawberries, now's the time to go buy them. I was talking to Carrie about maybe getting some and freezing them or doing something to save them just because they're such a good price and they're in season right now. Our Tiny Acre says that they have strawberries, blueberries, and raspberries galore. Yes, those are all different little fruits that I think would be neat to figure out how to grow or have going at our place here. Then for the main course for dinner on Friday was a big salad. Pretty standard salad for us. This one was a little bit busier than we've had in the past because we threw some sprouts in there. Carrie picked up some microgreens. If you kind of look around, if you got a good eye, you can kind of see some of the sprouts that were in there. I don't have them in a big, nice pile on the top here. This was after I had mixed everything in. The lima beans gave a great texture to the salad. And then Carrie had normally been using dates to sweeten it. She didn't have any dates, so this dressing did have maple syrup as a sweetener. I could tell the difference between the dates and the maple syrup, but it was still great meal. Then I think this was Friday, just a snack. Friday night was potatoes with some more of our dressing in there, just showing pictures of food I ate. And then here is another bowl of strawberries I had put together and ate late Friday night, it looks like. Then going to try to run through these. Saturday morning, standard oatmeal, spinach, mushrooms, onions, kind of our standard oatmeal. Yesterday's oatmeal was a little different. I might talk about that. Saturday for dinner. Not the best photo. I could have taken a better photo of this, but this is mango salsa on brown rice and beans. Extremely delicious. This is what it looks like. Maybe that's a better photo of it there. All mixed up in the bowl. The mangoes have been amazing. Again, a fruit that we hadn't tried much before we started this diet. Now we are including mangoes in a lot more recipes, finding out that it is a much more popular fruit than we ever knew before. So that was Saturday evening. And then Saturday night, Carrie gave me a hard time, so I took a photo here. This was my late night fruit basket that I decided to eat on Saturday evening. A couple bananas, couple oranges, and an apple. Just hungry at the end of the day and figured I would just have some fruit at the end of the day. Then yesterday, oatmeal again. This oatmeal is slightly different. If you notice, there's no spinach in this oatmeal. Our spinach was not any good. And I believe that Carrie used cauliflower rice or riced cauliflower to fill in some of the volume on that. And let me see, I got a couple more photos from yesterday. This is not, nothing, that's nothing. Had a smoothie. Been a while since I had a smoothie. Carrie says, hi, been outside working on the little playhouse. Yes, we picked up a little playhouse for the kids this weekend, so Carrie's cleaning it up. Real simple smoothie. I don't even know what was in it. Carrie's like, hey, I'm making a smoothie. Do you want one? And I said, sure. So, lots of good flavors in there. It was a good smoothie, but I don't know what was in it. And then dinner yesterday, I kind of went pretty heavy on the sauce here. I probably could have lightened up on the sauce. I know. This was Linda's meatloaf and then a baked potato with some barbecue dressing. And that was, Carrie said the smoothie was with broccoli sprouts. That's why she was making the smoothie. She wanted to use up some of those broccoli sprouts. And then this was dinner last night. And that Linda's meatloaf, it's, I believe, from the Engine 2 cookbook, one of my favorites. I could eat the whole loaf myself and I'd be happy. So that was dinner yesterday. And I do believe that I skipped breakfast again this morning. It's hard to remember all these days running together. But I've been having a lot more early mornings, so grabbing breakfast has been a little less convenient than normal. So I don't think I ate this morning. I'm not too hungry right now, but I did eat a lot this weekend. Overall, it was a decent volume of food. I came in today expecting to be a little bit lighter than I was. So I was a bit surprised seeing the scale today, but I'm thinking that I should be in good shape for weigh-in Wednesday. And then with this next week of activity, I'm really looking forward to seeing what kind of weight loss I end up having throughout the whole next week here. So that was mostly the food. I feel like a lot of stuff has happened since I was on here. I just can't think of anything in particular that I wanted to talk about or what order I wanted to talk about it. I have been listening to Dr. Barnard's book, Your Body in Balance. I have been enjoying the book. One of the things that is happening with the book that's happened with some of these other books that I kind of thought was going to happen with this book or with some of these other books that I'm not or have not read yet. But what that is that a big part of this book is getting people to switch from eating the standard American diet or the modern diet to eating a plant-based diet. And so a lot of these examples and the case studies they're talking about are people who are going from eating junk food, candies and sweets and salts and oils and, just a regular diet. And then what they're recommending is that to help with these physical issues that you should eat a plant-based diet. And they're kind of preaching to the choir. So, because I'm all on board with the plant-based diet, I don't really need another book to talk me into eating a plant-based diet, but it is nice to get some new information from the book. I can't think of anything off the top of my head right now, but I know that there's been examples that he has given that made me think or had some sort of fact, something I didn't know about it. But it's not necessarily teaching me anything that I wasn't already kind of following. The other critique that I would give about the book Your Body in Balance by Neil Barnard is that so far, I would say that this book was written for women. The focus of a lot of what he talks about is with women issues. Just to run down, I'm going to run down the chapter list here real quick and just kind of just to explain it. So the first chapter is about foods and fertility. So that's both men and women, but he does talk a lot about women. But then chapter 2 is curing cramps and premenstrual syndrome. Chapter 3 is tackling cancer for women. Then chapter 4 is tackling cancer for men, but of like all the chapters so far, it's the shortest chapter so far. The chapter for cancer for women is 51 minutes long. Cancer for men is 27 minutes long. Chapter 5 is about reversing PCOS with polycystic ovarian syndrome. chapter 6 is tackling menopause. And then the part 2 is less focused on gender, I think. But chapters 7 is curing erectile dysfunction. Chapter 8 is conquering diabetes. Chapter 9, the one I'm currently interested in reading, is a happy thyroid. And then chapter 10 is about skincare. 11's foods that fight moodiness. And then chapter 12 is about the diet. So this whole first part of the book is about sex hormones and finding your balance with sex hormones. And so it's very heavily weighed towards advice for women. So if you are a woman and you are looking for a book to read, then I would suggest it's a good book to read. If you're looking for, if you're already eating plant-based and eating a mostly healthy lifestyle, this isn't gonna, this book is more for converting, I think, people from their old way of eating to eating a healthier, better way. I guess one of the things that the book talked about that was kind of a funny like side note or footnote in the book that he put in there was about there's a drug that they had been using for cancer treatment in women for breast cancer. And it was Premarin or something like that. Premarin, I think, is what the name of it was. And he was talking about how they introduced this drug into the market because they thought it was going to be a good replacement for some of the hormones that the women were lacking that they needed, and that this medicine would help with that. And they found that the medicine did do some benefit, but there was a lot of side effects to it. And generally it had been taken off the market. They actually talked about a little bit in the book about how it was still in the market, and it was still predominantly, if it was being prescribed, it was being prescribed by doctors who were older male doctors who had left their medical training long ago. And the newer doctors were being trained on different procedures or different things to do. And a lot of the female physicians took the side effects that were being reported and were more cautious, or they were more serious about being worried about those side effects. So they were less apt to. So it was like this drug that was found to be ineffective or not as effective as they thought was still being prescribed because it was just the way those guys had learned, like it just kind of shows how there's a little bit of a lag behind the technology and that getting to the doctors. And then even that information getting to the doctors, it takes time for it to get disseminated through all the filters of different types of doctors, and can end up being around for a long time. But one of the other things they added, I guess that was the footnote part about it, was the source of this chemical for this drug. And I can't, like I said, I can't remember the exact name. I believe like it was called Premarin, and the name is derived from where it comes from, which is pregnant mare's urine. And so they take the urine of an impregnated horse and they use that urine to make this drug. And it was just kind of a weird, like in the book, they take the time to describe how they harvest this urine. And I think it was kind of to, kind of push that vegan aspect of it, because there are so many things in our everyday life that we take for granted that we only have because we use some sort of animal to make it happen. And this drug is kind of an example of that. And this is just one drug out of probably many drugs that use a similar procedure. But they take a horse and they impregnate it either by natural means or artificial insemination. And then when it is pregnant enough, or it reaches a certain point in its pregnancy, then they take the horse and they put it in a stall that is only like 3.5 to 5 feet wide. So it can't really move around. Plus it's pregnant. It's got a baby in it. And they hook it up to this machine that collects its urine while it's being kept in this pen. And then they use that urine for medicine. But then after that horse is born, it's kind of similar to the dairy industry. If it's a female horse, then it just gets put back into the same system and it'll have the same fate as its mother did, where it'll get impregnated and then they'll harvest its urine until it's no longer able to get pregnant anymore. And then it'll go to slaughter, or it'll go, and then the male horses that are born in this procedure, they end up getting killed right away or sold into some sort of trade right away. So it's not a pleasant experience for any of the animals. And it's just another place where kind of the vegan aspect of the diet kind of pops up. And they took the time to talk about it in the book, which I thought was interesting, that it was just a little bit about, just not only caring about these things, but actually knowing about where some of the stuff is sourced from and the issues that are behind them. Anthony says broccoli smoothie. Yeah, it wasn't, there was broccoli sprouts in the smoothie. I don't know that it didn't really taste like broccoli. She said broccoli when she was making it. I was thinking I was going to get a green smoothie, but it was not. So the book's been good, and I'm still chugging along. I'm really excited to get to that chapter about the thyroid. My doctor called about scheduling an appointment to talk about my blood results. They said nothing real major over the phone. I think I'm going to go back and see the doctor in about a month and talk about things and all that if I decide to go. But I don't think we're going to do more blood work. It's just going to really just to go over those numbers that I've kind of already seen and done my own research on to how to handle it. I don't need a doctor to help me with that, right? Let's see. Let's see. So, Rick says, ew, I imagine he's because of the horse story I was just telling. Trying to think of anything else that popped up. We were a bit active this weekend. I took the dog for a walk. It'd been a while since I took the dog for a walk. Got to go swimming. All that stuff was fun. Overall, I've said it a lot in the past few weeks, but my health feels really good top to bottom. I feel like I'm in good physical shape. Clothes are fitting really well, especially at the end of last week, like Friday last week. I was feeling real thin and good. So hopefully that'll keep coming back. Yeah. Pretty Girl's Mom says, poor animals. Yeah, it's crazy. I get YouTube video suggestions of things, and the YouTube suggestion that's the most kind of vegan thing I see right now for some reason is I'm getting a bunch of these seal rescue videos where they have this equipment where they go out to where there's these 1,000 seals sitting on a beach, and they chase down the ones that have nets around their necks and fishing hooks hooked in their mouths and stuff like that. and they grab them and they cut away all this other stuff and release them. It's pretty crazy. Not something that it's crazy to me that not only does it happen, but it's such a common occurrence for it to happen that there is whole organizations that have developed just to alleviate some of the issue with the animals, and these people aren't even hitting probably even a small percentage of the overall affected animals by what we're doing in our fishing waters. That has been a huge wake-up call about what we're doing in the water. And because it's in the water, nobody really sees it. Nobody seems to be doing much about it. So I don't think I have much more of an update for today. I am planning on being live tomorrow, and I will do my weigh-in on Wednesday. But after Wednesday, I don't think I will do a regularly scheduled stream again until the beginning of August. So it'll be like August 1st or 2nd when I get back from the trip. So I'll be live tomorrow, be live Wednesday for Weigh-In Wednesday. I'm going to keep plugging away at this book, listening to it. If anybody has any other suggestions for books, maybe take a second to look in the description of the video, see the books I've already read, and throw me some suggestions for books, because I'm going to be on the road with the opportunity to listen to them over the next couple weeks. But with that, I'm going to get out of here. Make sure you get subscribed to the channel. Click on that bell icon so you get alerted when I go live or post new videos. If you have not started your diet yet, get started right now. There's no reason to wait. Right now is the best time to get started. Everybody who reaches their goals looks back and wishes they would have started sooner. They all wish they wouldn't have procrastinated and put it off. And nobody wishes that they would have put it off. Nobody sits there and goes, man, I didn't go to that birthday party that weekend I started the diet and it just ruined the rest of my life. It's not what happens. So get started right now. Don't fall for the 2 myths of moderation. The myth of moderate consumption. The idea that we can eat less of something that's unhealthy and still be okay. It's not doable. There's a couple different ways to look at this myth. The myth that a little bit of anything is okay. Over time, that little bit of unhealthy stuff will build up and add up. And a lot of times it just creates these temptations that get you to go back to the old way of eating. The other myth of moderation, the myth that you can eat half portions of food, that, you know what, I'll just eat less for breakfast, lunch, and dinner than I normally eat, and my body will burn all those calories up and I'll be in a calorie deficit and it'll be great. I'll lose all this weight. And it works for a little bit of time. But in the long run, your body will not let you run at a huge calorie deficit for an extended period of time. And so eating a healthy, plant-based, high volume diet will help you satisfy your body's need for the calories. And then the myth of moderate change, the idea that you can slowly convert from eating a awful junk food, high dopamine stimulating diet to eating a nutrient dense, calorie dilute, whole food, plant-based diet, by slowly making changes. So I'll start eating salads in the morning, and then after 2 weeks, I'll cut the dairy out, and then I'll cut the meat out, and then I'll cut this out. And eventually you'll have this diet that you should be starting at from the beginning, but you've just drug it out for 2-3 weeks. If your point is to change to a completely different diet, in the end, it's so much easier to just make the change than to try to do it slowly. With that, guys, I am out of here. I will see you tomorrow. You guys all have a wonderful evening.